Hey, it's Chad and Sarah with Drive the Lightning. How's everybody doing today? Good?
I hope good.
Good.
We're
You're
good.
good?
We're good.
Good?
Yeah.
Hey, let's give you a thumbs up. How about one coming back toward us? Thumbs up, help move the video along. That's the end of the pitch. That's it. Nothing else to say. We want to talk about the 4 things that we really wish we knew.
Yes.
We really do. We bought our used Nissan Leaf 2 years ago, and in truth, we love it. We really enjoy it, everything about it.
Yep.
But there are some things, Sarah, that we found out the hard way.
Yes, it was a little surprising and at times terrifying. So we want to spare you that.
We're going to save you some headaches.
Yeah.
You're going to save so much money on Tylenol. It's ridiculous.
Also, we want to hear from you if your experience differs from ours, or if there's something that you really wish somebody had told you before you bought your first EV. Share it with us. Leave us a comment down below.
And some of these things, most of these things will apply to any electric vehicle you buy used. But especially, we promise these apply to the BMW i3 and the Nissan Leaf because both of those are in our family.
Yes.
But they will apply pretty much across the spectrum, I think, in most of the 4 things we're going to talk about. And stay tuned for number 4. That's a doozy.
A doozy.
A doozy. That gave us some brain pain.
Yeah, we were completely unprepared for that. Some of
Completely
these other
unprepared.
ones we thought we were prepared for. So we'll tell you how that went. But the
Actually,
last
number one
was a shocker.
Number 1, number 3, and number 1, number 2, and number 4 all took us by surprise. Number 3, we had a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into
Okay.
it. No more wasting your time, guys. Number 1, range is just a guess.
And a bad one at that.
And when it comes to the Nissan Leaf, what we drive, a bad guess. as
Really
Sarah just
bad
said.
guess.
Here's an example. We went up to see family briefly this weekend. We drove home on the highway. When we plugged in our car overnight and got up the next day, it said we had 86 miles of range.
Right.
Then
But that's fully charged.
Fully charged. We started driving around and it started climbing up. Next thing we know, we have 95 miles of range as we're driving, burning electricity. So figure that out. So what happens with a Nissan Leaf is it's guessing based on what you've done, what you can do. And I think, Sarah, all cars do this.
Right.
You just don't notice it if you have a big gasoline car where you're not like kind of glued to the range.
Right. When you first get your EV, especially, you are hyper focused on how far it says you have to go and where's the next charger and am I going to be able to make it to my destination. We don't tend to think that much with our gasoline cars because we know we're going to encounter a gas station. I mean, unless you're driving where you saw the next gas 168 miles, then guess what? You're also looking at the gasometer on your
trouble
gas
anyway.
car.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's a hyper awareness on the electric vehicles that make us wish we could really count on the gasometer.
Right. So that's one thing we wish we knew that you do know. So be careful with that thing. Now, a side note on the BMW i3, because we also have that in the family. In the BMW i3, it's dialed in much better than the Nissan Leaf. And when you use your navigation, you say, hey, I'm going to 123 Main Street, Boston, Massachusetts, whatever, and it calculates how you're going to get there. It factors those things in. The Leaf doesn't do that. If you're driving through town, you can drive forever. If you're driving on the highway, you got about 60 miles. So really pay attention. We wish we better understood the gasometer is indeed a guess. So that's number 1.
Yeah, and when you first get your EV, maybe drive it on the highway so you can get used to how your gasometer operates on the highway and on the back roads, because it's a totally different situation depending on how we're driving. Like you said, normally when we get up in the morning, since we usually just tool around town, after we fully charge, we're over 100 miles. It says we have in range, but like he said, the last thing we did was drive home on the highway, then fully charged, it says we have 80 something miles because it thinks we're just going to jump right back on the highway.
Yep. And it changes when it's cold. Just a little more fun for you.
Yep. More.
Yeah. So the BMW i3, way better than the Nissan Leaf.
Yep.
Some cars are better than others, but something to be aware of.
Yep.
Number 2, this one tripped us up pretty good last year. And that's the 12-volt accessory battery. This thing is not good. It's not a good, it's just not a good battery. I'm not trying to be offensive. It's not a good battery in the Nissan Leaf or the BMW i3 because we've replaced them in both vehicles within just a couple of years of them being new.
Right.
And here's the deal. This little battery doesn't have to turn over an engine. Like with a gas car, you've got to have 700 cold cranking amps to get the thing going. So the manufacturers say, well, what do we really need? We need to run some headlights in the stereo, right? No big deal. So just get a little tiny nothing battery. Well, it just doesn't last. So be prepared every 2 or 3, maybe 4 years to change your accessory battery. Now, is this across the board? It's not the same for every car. But as far as I know, all electric cars still have the accessory battery, including the upcoming Aptera. Now, this is the most technologically advanced car that I've ever seen, being that it charges from the sun, but it's still going to have a 12-volt accessory battery. Why? Because that's how automotive accessories run right now. Until that changes, we're going to be dealing with this. So keep your eye on that, and your car will act wacky when it goes out, and it'll be confusing. In the Nissan Leaf, what does it do?
It makes this horrible hissing sound.
Hissing sound.
And then sometimes your car won't start, so you're scared to drive anywhere and turn the car off because you don't know if it's going to start again when you're ready for it to. It's
trippy.
alarming.
But when you do get it started, because you can jump it with like a jump pack, like a small one, or off another car. And when you get your Nissan Leaf running, you can keep driving it on that dead 12-volt accessory battery. But when you stop, you're stopped. Now, the BMW i3 is even weirder because it bricks.
That was upsetting.
Remember, we got a call from Mom. Hey, I can't, she couldn't open the
charging
hatch,
port.
The charging port hatch. Because the battery was dead, it wouldn't allow you to open the charging port hatch. So, listen, it's a trippy car. And with the BMW i3, a trippy battery, I mean, you have to have the battery then synced to the car. Now, with the Leaf, Sarah and I changed the battery. No big deal. $100, $150. With the BMW, if you change the accessory battery, which is very hard to get to, remember you had to pull out the front.
Very hard. And you have to make sure to disconnect the
big battery.
The big battery.
From the little battery.
Right, because
you don't blow your face off.
Right. We don't want anybody to go through that.
And then when you replace the battery, you have to use code to make the car recognize it. So we had it towed to a dealership. They did it. So anyway.
A dealer approved
BMW guy. Yeah.
Shop, yeah.
So the accessory battery, not a good thing.
Also, and the reason why we're so surprised was when you compare that to, say, our work truck. We drive a 2010 work truck, and recently the battery, the 12-volt battery, it died in that. But it had never been replaced. So
11 years old.
Yeah, over 10 years, that battery just started the car whenever you wanted it to. So when we comparing that, then you're going 2 to maybe 4 years on your electric car vehicle. That's a big difference and a big surprise because we're used to you put a little, battery in a car and it lasts for
they're only meant
time.
to last 5 or 6 years, but they last forever. Mm-hmm. A 12-volt battery in a regular gas car.
It's the kind of thing you just don't think about.
You don't think about it until you need to think
gas
about
car
it.
Until it won't turn over.
Right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So let's move on to number 3. Number 3 was really shook our planet, our minds. And we expected it, but we didn't expect it to be like this. And that's simply, it's too much fun.
It's so fun.
It's just too much fun.
It's fun to drive.
And we're not driving Teslas. We would. Hey, send us one. We'll drive it.
We have no objection to driving
a Tesla. We don't have a Lucid Air. We don't have the fanciest electric car. But we love driving our Nissan Leaf. We love driving the BMW i3. And it's changed our life because we don't do anything. We used to do stuff. Mm-hmm. We used to have friends. We used to go places.
Yeah.
Now I say, Sarah, hey, let's take a break from work. What do you want to do? Well, let's go for a drive.
Yeah.
That's all we do.
Yeah, you get a couple drives in a day. So you can just tool around.
2-3 times, we'll just go drive.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that. When you buy an electric car, if you buy an electric car, it's going to surprise you how fun it is. Number 4, this is the doozy. If you enjoy videos like this, take a minute and subscribe. Okay, done. If you enjoy videos like this, we'll make more of them. Thank you. Number 4, and this is about charging. You can read a little bit about charging. But until your only car is electric, where we are in life now, you find out that it is a trick right now in the United States. It's not as simple as you think. When we got our car, we bought it all online. We went and picked it up in Ohio. It was done. We signed a piece of paper, had never driven it, never seen it, other than pictures. We knew what we wanted.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Jed did lots of research on the back end, including, we thought charging preparation. So he'd showed me a map that showed all these chargers between here and there, so it was going to be no problem. We could stop every 15 miles if we want to charge. Okay, that might be an exaggeration.
Yeah, big time. Anyway, so we jumped on the highway from Ohio, which is, I don't know, a couple hundred miles away from here. We're just going to drive until we need to charge. Well, the gasometer just starts tanking. We're going to be on the side of the road.
Flashback to number 1. Here it had been on the lot.
Sitting
and maybe test driven,
around Toledo, yeah.
So it felt like it had this. You can drive 100 miles, no problem.
Just go. Don't
get
think
on the
about it.
highway, and it changes everything.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So then we have to find a charger. We pull up an app, the PlugShare app, and we say, "Oh my goodness, look at all these chargers!"
Awesome.
At this stop. So we pulled off at the stop, pull up to the charger. It would not fit the Nissan
He
Leaf.
said, "Why don't you go plug it in?" Oh, okay.
Like, trying to cram.
Now I don't think of myself as a moron, but I am like, okay, I'm in kindergarten. I was really good at putting the shape,
the square and the square, and the
and the circle and the circle. I could do that pretty good.
Still can.
There was no match.
It wouldn't fit.
I'm like, there is no place to plug this one in here.
So here's what you find, and I'll just show you a map here. If you pull up the PlugShare app in our area, and you just look at chargers, you see this, and you're like, wow, this is beautiful around the Grand Rapids, Michigan area. You can charge anywhere you want.
Anywhere.
But if then you say, well, I really only want stuff that'll take the J1772, that's the charge report that we all have. All cars have that. That's what you use for your trickle charge or your level 2 charging. And the CHAdeMO port, which is what the Nissan Leaf has. And then you look. Still looks amazing. Okay, but now you say, here's the other part of charging. Level 2 chargers are not fast chargers.
No.
Don't be fooled by that, as we have been fooled by that and end up sitting for a couple of hours charging. So then you go back to PlugShare app and you say, listen, I need this to charge at 50 kilowatt hour per hour, whatever you call it, or better, which is like the slowest end of the fast charger. Now look what you got. That's how many fast chargers the Nissan Leaf can use in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So know your charger. Know what kind of port you're using. Most are CCS, but if you buy a Leaf, it's going to be a CHAdeMO. Know the difference between a level 1 charger and a level 2 charger. One's fast, or a level 2 and a level 3, rather.
Right.
One's fast, one's not.
Yeah.
You're looking for DC fast chargers when you're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yep.
Okay, is that it? Anything else?
No, just make sure you know your car, like you said, and know what you need for charging, because we did find ourselves on that infamous trip home, our initial trip home. Oh, here's a fast charger and it's free, but it is so slow. So we're sitting there for hours just getting enough charge to get to an actual fast charger that was on the way, because we thought we knew there was chargers. We didn't realize the difference between a level 2 and a fast charger.
Yep. You want to know more about driving electric? I'll put a playlist right here about driving electric cars. If you're specifically interested in the Nissan Leaf, I'm just going to cover my face up with a playlist that just deals with the Nissan Leaf. All right. That's it for Chad and Sarah this week. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching.